Hi, this is Tammy from the Bayou Bound. Here we're at it again. Jim's peeling apples. We got this little apple core peeler thing, and we're gonna be making some applesauce today. So we'll get back at you. He's gonna do a whole bag of them. Got a whole mess of them there. They come off already sliced, so all we'll have to do is chop them up. Let's see, it takes the peel right off and the core right out. Alrighty, we'll get back with you. Alright, this is what we ended up with. Let's tip the pan a little bit, kind of show the size. It's a big old pan there, so we got quite a bit, but we'll cook down since we are making applesauce. And as you can see, the slicer does this to it. So now it's just a matter of simply breaking them, chopping them up. You can leave them like that if you want to, but we're making sauce. And then we have the peelings here. Another pretty good sized pan. And we're going to be making some apple wine out of that. So we don't waste anything. And, you know, we have chickens, so if there's anything we ever absolutely don't need, we give it to the chickens. They eat it. Or the dogs. Like yesterday I made chicken, and since I boiled the chicken, I gave them bones. I'm not worried about shards when it's boiled, but alright, we'll be back when we get...
Tell them what we found while we were peeling the apples.
No. Alright, well, my husband wants me to tell you what we found while we were peeling the apples. Actually, I think what would be better is if I just go show you, and then I'll explain it. So let me get back here when I'm done. Alright. I don't know if you can see with the sun. Let me move around here a bit. Our dogs decided to go crazy on us. And you're getting too close. And I'm in the sun. Well, this is what we heard, actually. The dogs were going crazy out here, and I came out to check it out and went in and grabbed Jim, and he came out and took care of it. Nice little diamondback there. Not that big, but they're just as deadly as the bigger ones.
In the yard.
In our front yard, yeah. We're out here on this ranch, and as you can see, there is nobody here. We are the only people in this area. But they come to us. Alright.
What's for dinner?
We could. I have ate rattlesnake. It's not the most favorite thing I've had, but it is edible.
I like it.
Here we are outside. We're doing it out here. It's a nice day today. Got our turkey fryer thing going. We have that little shield around it. It gets real windy out here. We don't have any trees hardly at all to block the wind, so that helps keep the flame in where it should be. And Jim just smashing them up. Right now we're just going by the ball book recipe, and we've got about 12 pounds of apples in there. It says just to add some water, just enough to keep them from scorching, and cook them down a bit, break them up. After they get soft, we'll be putting them through our Vittorio food grinder thing. But for now, just let them cook. Alright. They're getting there. Cooking them down.
Yeah.
Just a few more minutes, and then we'll put them through the processor. That little slicer.
I've got my big glass of iced tea.
He wanted some tea. I found the biggest glass we had, so there we go.
Yummy. If it was milk, I'd have a mustache.
Alright. I'll come back on our next step.
Yeah.
Oh, while we're waiting, just thought I'd give you a little shot of our property here. I'll show you this over here. That's how we get our water. We live in an oil field now. I mean now, because this last year they have put well after well after well in around us. And right up on the hill, I don't know if I can zoom slow enough for you. Yeah, there it is. That tank, ooh, sorry, wiggling around so close. That tank is what Jim has to drive up that hill and pump the water into. We had a well. Well, we still have a well, I guess, but the oil people around here have been drilling so much, they turned our fresh water into brine water, which is basically just salt water. So, we can't use it anymore. And that is what we have to do. We have to get it, haul it in that tank, dries it up there, pumps it in. He has to make several trips a week. It's different when you live in the desert. I guess they could drill another well, be about 20,000 or more. It's not worth it to us. I plan on leaving anyways. Oh, snake's gone, Rags. This is one of the dogs that let us know about the snake. And this is where we found it too, right against that sheeting. He put all the sheeting in around years ago to keep the snakes from getting in, but yeah, they can get in. It's gone, Rags. It's bye-bye. Okay. Alright, and this is the Victorio processor. Put everything in there. Got the apple tomato screen on it. It'll do either applesauce or tomato sauce. Bought the full set. I can do several different blends with it. The good stuff will go out this little chute and down into that bowl. There won't be much bad stuff from this because we've already cored and peeled it, but it'll go into there. So actually, pretty much everything that does go into there will end up adding back into there anyways. So, but this is just to blend it up. Alright. It'll take us a little while to get this done, and let me help him scoop in, and we'll get back with you. Alright, we're back. We got it processed. We're leaving it a little chunky because we like our applesauce a little chunkier than your average store-bought. Adding 3 cups of sugar for the recipe here. Jim's just stirring it all in.
Good.
Some people don't use sugar. They go without sugar, but doing it the way we like it.
Yep. Everybody's taste is different. 13 pounds of apples. And to keep its color, we're going to add, is that 4?
4 tablespoons, yep.
Lemon juice.
Lemon juice.
Oh yeah.
And next, we're going to take away the color because we like ours with cinnamon. We like it a bit more. It called for 4 teaspoons. I ended up putting a little more than that. So we like a little extra cinnamon.
Wonderful. Oh, if you could smell this, oh my gosh. Oh God, does that smell good? Homemade applesauce. Let's see. Oh, it's lovely. Look at that. Look at that. Oh gosh. It's going to be good.
Now we let it cook down for a few more minutes and get it in our jars. We're doing pints today. Now we'll get those ready while he's finishing up out here. Alright, it's time to jar them. We've sterilized the jars in the oven. With our lack of water, it's just easiest for us to do it that way. So they're all sterile. We've got, I don't know, I think we have 10 pints left, and put a couple quarts there just in case we don't have enough jars for all of it, but we'll see. Got our lids over there. They've been sitting in warm water. We didn't boil that. It just got nice and warm so they soften up good. Get a good seal. And I'll bring you back after the jars are full. Alright, we ended up getting 9 pints, and if we'd had one more pint jar we could have did 11, but we didn't, so we put the last bit in a quart jar there. Jim's wiping them down real good. Just kind of tap them down. You don't really, applesauce, you don't have to check for air bubbles because there's not really going to be any air bubbles. But we just kind of tap them down, make sure they're in place right. Clean that rim because they do get messy. So almost done with that. Now ready to start putting the lids on.
Looks good.
Okay. Here, just tapping them, just making sure everything's settled in place.
Ready.
Alright. And I had to tell you this part. Jim was watching some video, and whoever it was said, tighten them housewife tight, not manly tight.
Right, housewife tight.
You don't want to over tighten them. You've got to allow for expansion and, you know, bubbling and boiling.
The little lid, when it's cooking, goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So you want to allow it to go up and down.
Housewife tight.
Housewife tight. Like that. See?
We got our water bath canner here. Got it heating up. We're going to put the hot sauce that were in the hot jars into hot water. You want everything to be equal. So we're almost ready to put them in the canner.
Ready.
Here he goes. Let me back up here so you can see it.
Gosh, is that not pretty?
And we'll probably have to do 2 batches here. They process for the same amount of time, both quarts and pints. 20 minutes. But that's 20 minutes when it comes to a full boil. Got to make sure it's a full boil. I have a pressure canner. Snake just fell down again.
Oh.
Still kicking. Anyway, so I have a pressure canner, but even that I cannot water bath all the pints.
No.
Gotta add some water to that because it doesn't come over the top of the quart jar we have there.
Turn this up a little. Get going good. That way, because I'm going to be adding cold water.
Yep. It's from our hose, and we know this is good water because we have to haul it. You know? So that's one thing about getting your own water. You know the quality.
And that farmer has good well water. Really good well water.
It's got to come an inch at least above the top jar. So with that little quart being in there, it's going to go up above that one. And we've got 2 more jars we're going to have to do.
Yep. Pretty good.
But, like I said, it only takes 20 minutes. Not too long of a time. And with a water bath, you don't have to worry about pressuring up and pressuring down and all that. We'll go ahead and put the lid back on and we'll let it go.
Let it cook.
Bring it back when they're done.
Yep.
Well, it's to a full boil now, so we've got the timer set. We just decreased the heat on it because it was really rolling. So 20 minutes and we'll get that a little bit, and then we got those 2 jars left to do. I was saying, I'm going to get a new pressure canner, and when I do, it's going to be the bigger one. I like mine. It's all American. That's what I want, but it's going to be bigger so I can do double batches of water bath in it too. My dogs, that snake fell off again. Look at them.
Snake.
After a snake. They are fools. If that thing was alive, they'd be dead. But actually, if it was alive, which it was, they let us know. They started barking. Now they're just...
Leave him alone.
I don't know. Probably just going to have Jim cut its head off or something. What's it?
My hands again.
Washed his hands, washed his hands. See, he's got my ball book there. And you can tell we use that book. It's leafed out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have that just for decoration.
Okay.
That has everything in it. I go to YouTube all the time. I look videos up all the time, but pretty much if I'm doing something, I make sure I go by the standards of that book. Alright, well, we'll bring it back when it's done.
Uh-oh, we're really bowling now. Okay. I now have the cleanest hands in the whole world because after skinning that rattlesnake, I went in and washed my hands with soap and water. Then I used bleach on them, and then I used Germ-X. Great stuff. So, there. No snake. All clean.
Okay. Alright, here. First jar out.
Look how pretty.
It looks beautiful.
You can't buy this in the store nowhere. Look at that. You just can't buy it. Canning factories around the world don't make this kind of food that looks and tastes so delicious. These are, by the way, fresh apples from Michigan.
Honey
Homegrown
Crisp.
up there, organic.
The brand's Honey Crisp. I don't know if everybody knows. They're a sweet apple, but they got some tartness to them. They're very juicy. I like them. It's not my most favorite apple, but it's one I do like.
This we're going to have to save for Christmas and let the family share because that's just way too much for you and I. So,
One thing, applesauce stays good in the refrigerator even when it's been open for quite a while.
yes, it
So
does. The nice thing about this is homegrown, organic, and home canned.
the reason we're out of pints is went to the store, several stores, and they are out of all their canning jars here. We are in an area they just don't supply them very well. We end up buying the last box of pints from Walmart and Family Dollar the last box of quarts, and I don't know where I'm going to get them. Probably have to order them back online again. I already heard a pop.
It popped.
One of them popped. Love that sound. I think it was a quart even. So now we're putting the new batch in and putting the jars in to take up the space too. Otherwise they can bubble around and
Yep.
cause a bunch of mess.
End up filling them with water.
Yeah, it's getting them full so that
Hot
they...
water. And the water in the jars take up the same space, so it doesn't matter.
equals out.
Equals out. What you're looking for is to make sure that these are underwater. As long as they're underwater, you're in good shape. I'm going to use this little bitty one here.
Yeah, it takes up space too.
That was hot.
Careful.
But I got it. There, that's going to be about right, I think. Let me fill these up just a touch. Yep. Now let me submerge that in. Nope, that should be good.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Gotta start the fire back up.
Yep. Fired up.
Okay.
There you go, you got it going. There it is.
There it's on.
Nope. And we'll set our
Same
pan
thing.
back. We're good to go.
Let it come to a boil. It shouldn't take long because it's barely
It's
off
already
boil.
hot.
But put the lid on, let it come to a boil.
Ding, 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 ding. I love that sound. But look how pretty.
There they are.
Look how beautiful. They didn't turn brown. They didn't discolor.
Nope, they're pretty.
They're absolutely gorgeous.
They've got brownness to them from the cinnamon, but that's it. Just
That's
the
it.
cinnamon brown.
Still nice and yellow. Appley.
Smells wonderful.
Oh, smells great.
Well,
I love us. We are so good at this. We have learned so much from everybody out there in the YouTube world. Has taught us everything we know pretty much, other than what our parents and grandparents taught us years ago. But I'm so glad we got back into doing this.
Yeah. What we have to do today still, we have to do the milk. We have to cut up cabbage for the sauerkraut.
Fabric softener.
To make our fabric softener. Have to slice those bananas. We have a lot to do.
Bananas.
I don't know if we'll video all of it, but we have a lot to do. All right. Well,
and we're fighting rattlesnakes today.
Yeah. Well, that was a unexpected thing to add to the list. But
was a visit this morning.
well, we'll leave you with this. I don't think I'll bother videoing the last couple of jars. It's exactly the same as those, and we'll catch you with another video.